So the proper way to do this is to drill 5 or 6 holes and then attack it with a needle file for 5 hours until it's finally a nice clean slot. But what all knife makers do that I know of is just sideload their drill press until it cuts the slot for them. Before you do that, however, you have to answer the question, am I stronger than my drill press if it catches? We all find out eventually. I found this scrap piece of buffalo horn that I rejected for a different project because I cut the slot too big, but it was perfect for this knife. I try never to throw away my buffalo horn and use as much of it as I can, because for all I know they kill a buffalo for it, maybe they don't, but I'm not gonna check.
Well, that's convenient.
So now I have to drill the holes for the bolster. I printed this jig to help me put them all in a nice, neat little line. It kinda worked, I mean, it's plastic. Now I have to flatten all the mating surfaces for the handle components. Believe it or not, this is actually the proper way of doing it. I don't know how interesting your childhood was, but this smells exactly like when you go out and burn dead bugs with a magnifying glass on a hot day.
So I've heard a lot of makers say that they get a certain like meditative satisfaction from these really menial tasks. I don't. But a milling machine is really expensive, so here we are. And it's not just the expense. I pay the expense. It's more that I can't put it anywhere and still fit cars in the garage. Any minute now. Maybe that, let's see. Sure, I can't just leave it like that, just hold it back here, Every time you pull this out, it feels really safe, Because, the edge is right there. You gotta make sure you turn away. Yes, I have poked myself. So to quote Alex Steele, this was a good idea until it wasn't. I ground the tang back because I was going to run this all the way up here, and that would be enough material in the tang. Mainly just because I wanted to drill through less acrylic. But now I'm going to be doing a bolster because I thought it would look cooler with a spacer here. And as a result, this will now be flapping in the breeze. There's not enough material in this block. So, carpenters like to say, measure twice, cut once, right? But in metalworking, you can just put material back where you want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a sleeve, weld it back on, and give myself a bit more material here. I mean, it doesn't have to be that strong. It's a chef's knife, but still, you want, half of the block, let's say, to have a handle in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that now. Let's get the welder. So I've ground out a section for this sleeve here. Now I'm going to drill a hole here now so that I can knock out this tab without having to cut into the metal. I should have done that first, but I was listening to Freebird and just went for it. So let's do that. Damn, that's cold. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, my mess up is almost contained. I got this sleeve here. I cut it from the same mother bar that this came from. So it'll be the same steel except for the filler rod around the edge. Good to go. So for anything like this, where you're going to be making a joint that will be ground flush, so it'll be taken off the weld bead, it's important to carve a bevel into the mating surfaces so that the molten metal, when you weld, will get into the joint further. That way, when you go to grind it flush, you will not have all of your strength removed, basically. The penetration will be deeper. Okay, we have the patient here. I'm gonna put a wet rag over the blade because it'll prevent spatter, right? Okay, as they say, a grinder in paint makes me the welder I ain't. Who says that? Well, I just told you, they do. I have the tang extended. Did a little bit of like finish grinding, took all the spatter off that still managed to get on there. Reprofiled the blade a little bit. So we're ready to resume the handle. I feel my sins have been forgiven, fixed, done. So now we will complete the project. Now I'm gonna hand sand because I'm still gonna give this a sandblasted finish, but I wanna make sure that all of the like deep grinding scratches are out of the knife before I do that. Otherwise it'll shine through and you'll see it when you etch it. So let's do that. Come on, buddy. And this is actually the product. Okay. So I'm starting at 220 and ending at 220, so I'm just gonna sandblast this. But I took it up to 120 on the grinder, so that should be plenty. Okay, so I have the edge hand sanded now. I'm ready to sandblast this all. These scratches will be very shallow, so when I sandblast it, they should come right out, and we'll have a consistent, like, matte finish that I can then darken. So let's do that. Okay, so now I'm going to etch the blade. Here I have a strong acid, and here I have a solution of baking soda. So I'm going to put the blade in the acid to darken it, and then I'll move it over to the baking soda to neutralize the reaction. Okay, so here's where we're at. I've got the blade done, it's sandblasted, it's ground, it's basically sharp. It's all sharp and spooky and darkened. But I'm really happy with how this finish turned out. It has this elemental feeling to it, like you cracked a stone and it fell out. It's timeless. I really like this sandblasted, acid darkened finish. Got some oil on it so it won't rust anymore now that it's been in the acid. I have the bolster, spacer and handle mostly ready to go. Wrong way, there we go. So all I have left is some finish grinding. I have to do the lineup pins for the spacers and grind the handle to its final shape, glue it up, and that'll be that. So that concludes part 2. In the next part we will be finishing this knife. So cool. That's me signing out. So that's it for part 2. I'll see you in part 3. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see it.